Hey, friends, welcome back to Transform the Now. Dr. Tucker Boyle here with Dr. Nathan Pallai. How are you doing, Nate?
Fantastic. Good afternoon.
Good. I'm so happy to be with you again and get to chat about something. Today, we want to talk with you about a few concepts that kind of converge around this idea. The idea is finding the middle way, finding the flow, finding Wu Wei, finding the Tao. All of these concepts kind of point to this middle path where in our lives, if we can learn to be fully present in whatever task we're doing, there is a state of flow within that task that is amazing, magical. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Nate, add to what we're trying to describe today. We're trying to describe the indescribable today. How would you?
Yeah, that's what they say in the Tao Te Ching, right? That it's indescribable, it's hard to hit on. But it's that thing where if we are kind of balanced in our everyday life, and if we're not swinging to these extremes, that we can be present and we can enjoy where we're at. And we're submitting to you a thesis, and that ordinary, everyday endeavors can feel good. They can feel exciting. They can feel magic almost. So often in our lives, we're looking for the next vacation or the next purchase or the next thing. And I'm all for those. I just bought a truck and I love it. It's fantastic. But like I'm saying, more than those momentary things that your brain's just going to adapt to, that hedonic adaptation, that it's just going to get used to this and it go back to that state, that if we can find a moment where we're just in that moment and give our attention fully to it, we're giving you this thesis, that this idea that it will open up for you, it will become more alive, and that you'll feel more alive and you'll feel like you have more purpose there. So you probably need a follow-up question on that. I don't know if
Well, let me ask you this, Nate. Do you think, and we may be in opinion world here, I don't know, but do you think that you can find that flow with any task?
Yeah, immediately I think of like work meetings and I want to headbutt people in the face during those. So like I'm not like maybe because
So that,
immediately I was like, I felt it in walking my kid to school. I felt it doing the dishes. I felt it driving. But then immediately my brain was like, well, what about here? And I was like, I don't know if I felt it there. It's possible, but being honest, I don't know.
yeah, so that's a great example, like a common task or space that we have a really hard time surrendering to, right? So is surrender, is that the portal into the flow? And is that what makes it hard for us to find flow? Because it's hard for us to fully surrender in certain circumstances in life. And I'm with you. I have meetings as well. And I have situations that are, flow is very, very elusive for me. What are your thoughts? How does surrender play into it?
No, I would agree. I would agree, like that moment where I let it be what it is, and I stop thinking how it should be or how I want it to be, and I stop being like, but I don't want it to be this way, and I just let it be what it is, and then I'm present with it, the person I'm with or the situation I'm with or the task I'm with. There is some openness to receiver mode, like we've talked about before, that really vibes, that really resonates, that there's real power. And like I don't know, we're not trying to be super religious here, but throughout religious traditions they talk about this as Shakti or spirit or Tao or flow. Like there's different ways that once you give your attention to this task, let it be what it is, give your attention there, that you'll find resources beyond your own to be able to deal with that situation. Um, and even it doesn't feel so boring anymore. Like life suddenly feels enough and sufficient rather than tedious and boring. It really does for me. Like things start to open up and you see it afresh. It's real.
Yeah. great description. As I listen to that, I think of so often in life, I try to stack up events or opportunities or trips or some type of thing that I anticipate, and I postpone my fulfillment until that thing comes that I've been planning for. And so I lose the flow of the current moment all the way there until I find myself in the task or at that, climax moment that I've been waiting for. And oftentimes it's so fleeting. If I even find flow in that moment, that then I try to build it again. And so it's all what we're saying here is like, it is possible as we practice this, as we learn this, to find this sacred presence in the most ordinary tasks that makes the most ordinary thing become extraordinary. Something that comes to my mind, Nate, I told you about this one time. When my teenage boys and I were together, we played basketball against some other people and we were having a good time, and I enjoy sports. And there was this moment when it's like we all forgot ourselves and played like a team in a way that I had never experienced before. Me and my boys, like we knew where the other people were without even looking. And we entered this state of flow where this ordinary game of basketball became something so extraordinary, and the passing and the shooting and the experience was just like euphoric. And I was like, what is happening? We're playing basketball, and yet we found this just beautiful bonding experience for us that we can all look back to and be like, do you remember that game? Do you remember what that felt like? That was incredible. But it takes like this surrender. I remember even in that basketball game, I kind of had to surrender my own desire to shoot sometimes and give it up to somebody else, or I had to surrender to, okay, that didn't work out great, but just surrender to the next moment. There is this interplay of surrender to whatever place we're at and to whatever is, that is the doorway into this flow. And we're bringing this up not because we're great at it, but because we've tasted it a little bit, and we hope that even bringing up the concept helps people that are listening to watch for that opportunity for presence here and now. Nate, what would you say? How do we practice something like this?
Well, just one more comment, and then I'll take us through a practice. But for me, one of the reasons I want to practice this is because I likewise look forward to things in the future. But I've developed so much this mindset, and I would say even neural pathways of saying, hey, my happiness is going to come to the future. And then I come to this moment, this sweet vacation on the beach, and my mind's still operating on future happiness right there. And I'm not able to savor this thing that I have been looking forward to it. And I've been there. I've been on the beach and like still scheming and planning in the future. And so for me, this has been a very valuable thing so that I can enjoy those big moments along with the small moments. I want the big moments to be epic. I want them to be fun. And I think if I don't practice that like any other skill, they'll continue to be diluted by my future off-putting right there.
What a great example. Yeah, I love that, Nate. Thinking of my longing for future happiness as a neural pathway that needs to be, I need to practice pulling out of that into finding flow in the present. That's powerful.
Thank you. So here's our practice for today, and it's very simple. It's do one dang thing. That's the official spiritual title of this practice, is to do one dang thing. And what I mean by this is, as you go throughout your day, you're going to have a full slate of tasks. And frequently we pile tasks upon tasks in layers, and then we lose sensitivity because of the layers that are between us and the task that is going on. And so my invitation to you, and we're going to run through it here in a second, is whatever you're doing in that moment, just do that thing. Instead of eating and being on your phone, just eat. And then you provide time for yourself just to be on your phone for a bit and be completely engaged in that. Instead of driving and listening to the radio, just drive. Instead of like listening to your child and planning out the tasks you need to do, just listen to your child. And I know that for me personally, this is easier said than done. That's why we call it practice. Okay. You're going to get like 1 minute into it and notice you're daydreaming. That's okay. But if you will, settle in with us right here and just take a deep breath and just be here. Just feel it. Relax down those shoulders. Take another one. And just settle in. Feel the gravity keeping you here on beautiful earth, and be grateful that you are here and settled in. If you're in a place or position that you can close your eyes, great. Go ahead and do that. If you're driving, please keep your eyes open here, okay? And just relax and feel where you're at. Sense what it is like to be in this area. Sense the space around you and feel what it is like to breathe air in through your nostrils. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, keep your eyes open, and you can look around and see at the texture and the vibrancy around. Hear the noises you have surrounding you, okay? Maybe if this isn't working for you, just pause the podcast and be 100% wherever you're at, in whatever you're at, just for 1 minute. Drive while you're driving, talk while you're talking, work while you're working, but just be 100% here. Take another deep breath, if you will, and just feel into the space of your body, from your toes to the top of your head. Feel the space around your heart. And go ahead and come back to us. Open your eyes, if you will. And I know it's just brief, but what I'm saying is, whatever you're doing this day, for the rest of the day, don't make it too big. Don't make it a week. Don't make it a couple of days. Just for the rest of today, just remember, I'm going to do one dang thing. I'm just going to do one thing here, and I'm just going to focus on that thing. And I want you just to feel how it feels. That's it. Nothing bigger than that. Just do one thing and just pay attention to it. Feel how it feels. Notice the thoughts you have. Feel how your body is, and notice how the people around you are. Notice what happens in the world. Is that Tucker? That was probably a little more scattered than it is when you run us through it. But any thoughts to conclude?
Not at all. I love that, Nate. I think this is powerful, life-changing stuff that helps wake us up to what's happening. I mean, this past week, there were a couple of moments where I was with one of my kids and I just said, do you realize that we are on a planet that is hurtling through space at unimaginable speeds in a universe that we're the only planet that has life on it. And we are walking right now outside and there's snow falling and we can feel the cold air on our cheeks and we can just like, and my kids start to roll their eyes, right? when I go off like this, because they're like, here goes dad again. He's present. Here he is.
Dad doing his present thing.
And we laugh about it together. And there are these moments where you will wake up to the absolute sacredness of the flow of the present moment and the opportunity to be alive and washing the dishes or driving a car or being with somebody that you enjoy or don't enjoy. Like all of it is flow. All of it is sacred. All of it is a part of the beauty of this experience that we're going through together. And we just wish that this practice and all the practices help you feel just the sacred presence that you are and that life is, and hope that this is inspiring and life-changing for anybody that tries. So it might not work every time you try, but as your mind drifts, again, bring it back to the sensations of the present dang thing that you're doing.
Hey, and friends, if it's helpful, like it, share it with your friends, just spread some good. We're low key and we want to do good and we want to help you do good. So this is a simple way you can do good, is you can share the podcast, share the YouTube channel, and just help out. Try it out. See you next time, friends.
Thanks, everyone.